guys are amazing. You are amazing. Come on, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Woo! 15 years. Y'all ain't got no seat for them? Oh, y'all don't want to sit down. Y'all have fired up and motivated, right? Mm-hmm. Come on. No, come on, honey. Yeah! So leave them drumsticks for me. We gonna get down a little later. Uh-huh. We bring you greetings, Yolanda Johnson Peterkin, in case you didn't know who I was. Yes! Come on out here, doctor. Yes! This is Dr. Stephen Hancock, all the way from North Carolina.
You know, I have to take the mic from her because, you know, she'll take over.
They know already.
Yeah, so she got to... So as we said last night, I am the South, she's the North.
Woo! Give it up for the North.
Who needs some balance? Give it up for the South.
Wait a minute, North. We lagging behind there, North. But in any event, you're here for the 15th year anniversary for Beyond the Bars.
Give it up, give it up.
Hey, 15 years. And we're in this, we just thank you this opportunity to be in Riverside. But we are here to celebrate 15 long years. And we are very, very appreciative. And we also have Dr. Hancock, who is going to be co-hosting with me this evening. And we're going to have a grand time. Thank you for standing for our drummers, and give them a round of applause once again. Because this is 15 years of participation. It's not 15 years of sitting back there looking at us. Just wanted to let you know that, okay? Mm-hmm. Who brought us here? Anybody know who brought us here? Ooh. Y'all don't know why y'all here? Y'all don't know who brought y'all here? Y'all all go home, go home.
Some people
Columbia University Center for Justice. 15-year anniversary. Come on, people. Woo. Y'all was at the loft last night or something. Mm-hmm. In any event, we always must pay homage to where we are. So therefore, we're going to let Dr. Hancock introduce our land in acknowledgement. Amen?
Yes, so we're going to bring up Ms. Wakumi to give acknowledgments. I'm sorry.
My bad.
Not yet.
Come on, Wakumi.
Come on up. But...
But before Wakumi, we're going to play a clip from our own Angela Davis and Gina Dent. I know you were waiting to hear from them, right? So we're going to play a clip. Pay attention to up there. Yes.
I'm so sorry that we aren't able to be there in person. We need to congratulate everyone who has helped to keep this phenomenal organization in continuous operation for the last 15 years. And of course, Cheryl and all of the others in leadership, thank you for devoting literally all of your time to this project.
I'm so sorry to be missing the excitement of the conference, which is always an amazing experience. I'm remembering the first year, and I'm remembering all of the special times with especially our dear friend Kathy Boudin and so many others. So it's a privilege to be able to be with you.
I want to, I guess, call upon us to think deeply about the ways in which we've developed our work against prisons in connection with the solidarity movement for Palestine. And I want to say this in a way as to emphasize, how this work travels not only geographically but in terms of time, and how the work that we're doing against prisons is not and has never been narrowly only against prisons. It's always been about radical social transformation, so that we no longer have the need, have the requirement for such racist and repressive institutions. We often seem to assume that when we experience these devastating moments, devastating losses in human life or in the electoral arena, that this is the first time we've confronted such horrendous difficulties. And at those times, I think we, in a certain sense, misapprehend our circumstances. We feel engulfed in them, as we often tend to think, as never before. And at those moments, it's important to remind ourselves that we have been here before. We have been here before numerous times, and that we have eventually extricated ourselves in such a way as to remind ourselves that collective struggle is always possible.
The notion of abolition democracy, that is the inability to disarticulate the idea of abolition and freedom from the idea of democracy, such that we define freedom as just stopping whatever practice was keeping people from being in community, but not providing them the basis for building up a society that they can be a part of and can lead. Du Bois was focused obviously on the abolition of slavery, and we can talk a lot, and we have it beyond the bars many times, about what the relationship is between racial slavery and incarceration. Part of what he's saying is that this counter-ideological work can never be fully within the grammar of opposition. We can't really just be saying no to things, and we can't just be perceiving ourselves as fitting into what is defined in advance for us as democracy. We are in a very difficult moment where we need to defend democracy. We need to be defending democracy and redefining what democracy means, and Du Bois is one of our guides to do that.
So, the critique of capitalism is something that has been lacking in our larger conversations about democracy in this country. We don't necessarily point out that the kind of democracy that we're accustomed to is bourgeois democracy. It's not democracy in the sense that it is freedom for all who inhabit this country. And I think it's so important to remind ourselves that democracy for all the people is yet to come. We have never experienced that. And so the effort to abolish jails and prisons, carceral institutions more broadly is precisely a part of that project to create a new, more radical democracy. And so as abolitionists, we try not to emphasize so much the process of tearing down, although that has to happen in order to build up. But rather it's the productive side, the possibility of creating new institutions that would obviate the need for carceral repression. It's not that we want to look specifically at institutions that are carceral that exist in the world today and simply tear them down. And this is where we learn from slavery, because this is exactly what happened with slavery. The institution itself was the myopic focus of the larger abolition project, but not the extent to which slavery had infected, literally infected, every major institution in the country. And we're still attempting to engage in that project today. I don't think that those of us who associate our work with forward movement, I don't think we seriously imagine that we could achieve a great deal. you know, I think we, in many ways, we were arrested in that moment of struggling to end carceral institutions, but not asking ourselves, what would we do once there are signs of success?
Where you going?
Every now and again, there's a time to be silent. Silent. When Angela and Gina speak, we need to take that in. And we need to understand fully that even after 15 years and all the work that we've done and all the individuals in this room, we're still fighting even more today. Wakumi?
Peace and blessings, family. How we doing? Oh, okay, thank you. Beautiful. Okay, can y'all hear me okay? All right, it's so wonderful to be with you all, Beyond the Bars 2025 family. My name is Wakumi Iyanifa Awosopon, and also Tanisha Douglas. I was Tanisha Douglas 15 years ago when we marched into the dean's office and said we need an abolitionist conference at Columbia University. And it's such an honor to get to be with you all tonight. Tonight, I come to you in the capacity of Iyanifa. I get to bring you greetings from the spiritual lineage of Yoruba land, a place where many of our people are from, what we now call Nigeria. I also have the honor and the privilege of getting to acknowledge the land that we're on. So we're gonna do two things while I join you all at the mic. We're gonna acknowledge the land, and we're going to honor our ancestors, right? Because the theme of this year's Beyond the Bars conference is Sankofa. Yeah, folks familiar with Sankofa a little bit? Okay, like Sister was saying, this is a participatory experience. Yeah, okay. So Sankofa invites us to look to the past, to think about how it's going to inform our going forward. And so in that spirit, we're gonna honor our ancestors with the practice of libations. Folks in the room, first time with libations? Yeah, okay, beautiful. Okay, that's amazing. That's beautiful. Okay, so what we're gonna do together in the spirit of our ancestors, using this technology from Yoruba land, we're going to call on our ancestors. So we're gonna do that like this. The first thing I want to say about the ceremony is whenever I'm inviting people into ceremonial practice together, especially those of us from multiple different faith communities, I want you to check in with your spirit and know that it's okay to participate and it's okay not to participate. Consent is the key, all right? So participate by choice. If you feel like, this ceremony seems like something that would really feed and nourish my spirit, please join us. If you feel like, not tonight, that's okay too. We ask that you be a loving witness of the process, all right? Can we do that together? All right, good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say a brief prayer. The prayer will include some words in Yoruba. I got an opportunity to do this last night at the Women's Transcending Collective Leadership graduation. Hey, graduates. Yes. Yes. That was a really powerful night. Yesterday was a really powerful night. And what I shared with folks is that we're going to say these names. We're going to say the names of our ancestors aloud. It's important to say their names aloud. So I'm going to say a brief prayer. I'm going to say it in Yoruba. I shared with the sisters last night that speaking in a tongue that we spoke before the time of colonization is really deep, powerful medicine for our people, okay? So I'm gonna share some of that tonight. And then after I say the prayer, I'm gonna invite you to out loud say the names of your ancestors. Bloodline ancestors, right? So those might be people who you're related to. Or they could be historical figures or people of power, people who have symbolic influence on our movement. And we want to invite ancestors into this space and honor and lift up ancestors of light, right? Those that can support and strengthen the work that we're here to do. Does that make sense, everybody? That's who I want you to bring down. That's who I want you to be thinking about. We're going to do that, and you're going to say the names out loud, and I'm going to pour a little water into these plants while we do that. And as you're saying names and hearing names, you hear a name, you say the word Ashe. Ashe means, and so it is. We're gonna do that for several rounds until we feel complete. And then we're gonna say 3 Ashes together. Everybody down? Okay, thank you, graduates. Y'all know how to participate. All right, before we do that, I wanna acknowledge the land. The land that we are on tonight is Lenni Lenape land. We're really grateful to the Lenape people for being the original stewards of this land, and we give thanks and honor to them. All right, I'm gonna ask folks, as I say this prayer, if you feel comfortable to close your eyes, I'm gonna ask you to do that. We wanna drop down into this moment. Feel your feet below you. Feel your bottom on the seat. Drop into your body, really arrive. We're here in the spirit of joy. We're here in the spirit of freedom. We're here in the spirit of victory. And Egun, ancestors, we call on you tonight. We ask for Ire Laiku, long life. We ask for Ire Aya and Ire Oko, healthy relationships, that our relationships be strong. We ask for Ire Aje, abundance and prosperity. May we have all that we need and more. Please give us all that our hearts desire. We ask for Ire Omo. Please bless our children. Please bless our children. Please bless our children, 7 generations and beyond. Keep them safe. We ask for Ire Ishegun, victory over our enemies, victory over our enemies, victory over our enemies. Ancestors, accompany us to victory. We ask for Ire Bobo, all the blessings that we can see for the upliftment of ourselves in service of liberation, freedom of our people. And in that spirit, I want to ask folks to start calling out the names of your ancestors. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Ooh, beautiful. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Beautiful. 3 Ashes, family. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh, beautiful. Thank you all.
Thank you, Wakumi. Thank you so much. So we done ashayed and ashayed and ashayed, but let me ashay over here because there's a very special person. So you guys think that this is easy and all of you came and said, oh, you did such a wonderful job, Yolanda, you're wonderful. You know why? Because I keep it moving, right? Unfortunately, this is time censored, right? So the people that I call up now, I want you to make sure that you remember if I ashay past the stage, that means we gotta wrap it up. You understand? Everybody, how many people are down with that, okay? Wonderful. This person started the Beyond the Bars Fellow, and then every year would be here and have the young people and some older running with him, and we love him. But then he went to Hawaii and left us. But that's all right because he's back. Those of you who care and those of you who know that he pulled us all of these years, and we want to celebrate him too. We bring him up right now. Let's go, Cam! That's not how y'all give a hand of applause for Cam. Let's go!
Good evening, everyone. I thought I was going to be up here with the whole crew, so I wasn't prepared, but I'm here. Greer, thank you. What do I want to say to you all? I want to lift up something that Judy said last night. For anybody who was here last night, Judy was talking about many of us wanting to have a conversation with Kathy Boudin, especially in this last year and a half of genocide in Palestine, of repression all around, now fascism growing. There are a lot of questions and not easy answers, and one of the things about Kathy is she didn't take easy answers. And that was frustrating for me at times, but also pushed me to not accept easy answers either. And I think the Beyond the Bars Fellowship, which is why I'm here to talk, because Greer asked me to talk about it, I think part of the reason we started the fellowship was to give more people a place to grapple with some of the things. Like, there's a couple people who put together this conference, and we get to grapple about the issues and the questions, and what are we going to bring people together to talk about. And the fellowship was meant to be a place to do that with more and more people. We started 10 years ago in a basement with no money and some people who were down, and now we're 10 years deep, and I retired, but I'm still here. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Cameron. So what we'd like to, good evening, everyone. My name is Greer Ellis Coleman, just a humble part of the team. Yes. So what I would like to do, just as an acknowledgement of the 10 years, I would ask the 10 people who are going to say what their Sankofa moment has been in the fellowship over the past 10 years. So they're going to say their name and what their Sankofa moment was. So one thing that they learned in the past that they are still using today. So can y'all please, those, and if you're part of the Beyond the Bars Fellowship in any way, can you please stand up? But the 10 people who are supposed to be helping me up here, can y'all come through now, please? We don't have a lot of time. Hey, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're going to have an extra person. All right, thank you so much. So in honor of and acknowledging the 10 years that the Beyond the Bars Fellowship has provided leadership skills for both students and people from the community who are impacted by incarceration, we just want to say thank you. Yes, so tell us your name and one thing, your Sankofa moment with the fellowship, right? Like one thing you learned that you are using today, or something that resonates with you.
Hi, Greer. Your glasses are cute. My name is Omobalaji Oluwashola, and what I learned is actually basic. I was 2019 to 2020. It's just the importance of breaking bread. My Sankofa moment was when we went on retreat, October 2019, and I sat across from a co-fellow, Larry, and we broke bread. I was eating eggs. He's vegan. He was asking me why I was eating eggs. I told him because they taste good, and I still eat eggs. But Larry and I still break bread together, and from growing in community then, we break bread, and our breaking bread is still creative. We're now working together to write a challenge to the death penalty under the Fourth Amendment, which hasn't happened. And that came from breaking bread 5 years ago and from choosing to continue to break bread. I'm going on too long because I'm a preacher. Okay, go ahead.
Listen, y'all hear me, right? I want y'all to say, Ashe, yes. I want you to say your name and what your Sankofa moment was. Please don't make me like be the Sandman. All right, thank y'all.
Hi everyone, my name is Rosie Rios, and my Sankofa moment was becoming a co-founder of Beyond the Bars LA, and then years later, yes, at UCLA, and then years later being accepted to Columbia Graduate School and finding family here at Beyond the Bars, so Beyond the Bars will always be family and home to me.
I got a little ADHD. So my name is Cass Severe, and my Sankofa moment is in the fellowship was realizing the power of my story, being in a space where my lived experience was not just acknowledged, but valued, and gave me the courage to step fully into my role as an advocate for justice-impacted women. Beyond the Bars taught me that healing and leadership go hand in hand, and that my voice is a bridge for those still finding theirs.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darren Mack, and my Sankofa moment is when we went on a retreat to Blue Cliff Monastery. It's one of the monasteries established by Thich Nhat Hanh, and yeah, it was a really wellness experience, yeah, basically.
Hey everybody, my name is Halima Washington, and my Sankofa moment was being a Beyond the Bars fellow in 2017, 2018, and then coming back to facilitate the fellowship the very next year for the incoming fellows.
You know, by this time you get the microphone, you should know exactly what you want to say, but then you want to say so much. So I'm going to say, my name is Kay Bain, Peace and Human Justice family. Sankofa moment for me, I mean, just the ability to be around brilliance, to learn the importance of the interconnectedness of the gears of oppression. Angela said it just moments ago, but this has inspired me, my brother Breon Bain, our family to do this work all around the country and all around the world. Peace and human justice once again.
Hi everyone, my name is Franz Michael, and my Sankofa moment was because we did the fellowship during COVID, so all of our fellowship was online, and my Sankofa moment was to understand the importance of community, understand that everyone was going through something. I lost my dad, and I mean, Gria, Cameron, Cheryl, the crew was like in my corner, so my Sankofa moment is to understand the community and just to be with the community.
My name is Lorenzo Johnson Jr. My Sankofa moment in the fellowship was really realizing that there's always something we can do right now, tomorrow, and that's simply because it's already been done for us and before us by our ancestors. If God has brought you through it, the job is not yet done.
My name is Herman Bell, and my Sankofa moment was when I met Gria Ellis. I knew her dad. In addition to that, my other Sankofa moment was when asked the question, which area are you most interested in that would, in terms of learning, working, that you would find things that would support you and give you strength as you go forward as a social justice activist. It's been a wonderful experience for me. It's nice to see everybody out here this evening. We're going through hard times just now, and we probably will be experiencing much more So I just want to leave you with have faith, love one another, and don't give up.
Thank y'all so much, and may we have 10 more years. God bless. Thank y'all.
That's only one word. All right, now we come to the time in the program where we bring up our panel. But before we start that, I'd like to say to you, as we're getting prepared for them to come up, that the program is put together in brilliance. So the first thing you saw today was drummers. In Africa, drumming represents community, spirituality, love, and togetherness. That's the message of this night. Secondly, you heard from the incomparable Angela Davis and Gina Dent, who are scholars, leaders, and activists to help us move beyond. We've done our libations, we've given honor to our ancestors, and now we've just heard from our some alum and people who have experienced. So now we get to sit down and have our first plenary session. This is an opportunity to acknowledge the strength, the resilience, and the capacity of women to transform their lives and the environment. And it's an opportunity to learn, support, and advocate for the rights of women who have experienced the justice system in ways that are often overlooked and misunderstood. So please join me in welcoming the moderator of this session, Ms. Amanda Alexander, and the panel. Let's give them a round of applause. Come on, let's give it up for them. They're coming up.
Good evening. So I'm Amanda Alexander. It feels so good to be here with all of you. And there was some confusion over whether I'm a moderator or a panelist, so I'm just going to be a heavily involved moderator tonight, part of the conversation. The theme of tonight's conversation is a wisdom circle. So keeping with the conference theme of Sankofa, thinking about what are the lessons from what we have experienced, what we've been through prior struggle, that we can carry forward in this next phase. A pretty terrifying phase where we need to harvest all of the lessons that we can from where we've been. So this first question I'm going to pose, and I'm also going to take an opportunity to frame our conversation a bit. So the question that the conference organizers wanted posed was, how might the lessons you experienced in the past, experiences that have kept us safe, help us build community in this moment? So what grounds me is the ways that I am seeing us already leaning into what abolitionist organizers are so good at, and that is building community. I'm heartened by all of the examples that we're seeing across the country these past several weeks of community defense, of mutual aid. So in Chicago, this resistance has looked like the Chicago Teachers Union putting together sanctuary teams. So teachers banding together and saying, ICE will not enter this building. You will not come for our students. This resistance has looked like doctors standing up for their young trans patients. So in the face of Trump's executive order trying to pull federal funding from hospitals that offer gender-affirming care, doctors like Jeffrey Birnbaum in Brooklyn have stood up and said, I'm willing to go to jail to continue to provide care. Interrupting criminalization, run by Mariam Kaba and Andrea Ritchie, run a hotline for healthcare providers who are facing criminalization for providing abortion care or gender-affirming care to trans people. Networks of people are figuring out how to get abortion pills to people who need them, how to make sure that trans folks can continue getting the hormones that they need. I have been blown away by the work in North Carolina of Siembre NC. So this is an organization that has been doing incredible community defense work since 2017 under the first Trump administration. They run an ICE Watch program, similar to what many of us came up in with a Cop Watch program, where they have trained volunteers to spot ICE agents out in community. And if they're spotted, they alert the neighbors that someone's in the area. And they say that every time an ICE agent understands that they're being watched, they leave. This is the power of a posture of power over fear, as they call it. They also run a rumor verification hotline. So all these rumors might pop up on Facebook about where ICE is, and people get afraid to leave their homes, and they run a hotline where people can call up and see, is this true that ICE is there? And they say 9 out of 10 times these are rumors that need to be debunked. People are organizing pods. Mia Mingus in the transformative justice tradition has talked about pods for a very long time, and they're being put to new use now. These are all examples of what Kelly Hayes, the legendary Chicago organizer and writer, has called a rebellious culture of care. And this is what we're so good at as abolitionist organizers. A rebellious culture of care is what has kept marginalized communities alive for generations. It is the wisdom that has been hard-earned by sex workers, by criminalized people, by incarcerated people, undocumented people, disabled people. And to a certain extent, this resistance is working. So Trump's administration has not been able to deport at the rates that they would like to be. We have heard Trump's so-called border czar, Tom Homan, get on CNN last month and lament the fact that immigrant communities are so well organized. That's right. He said in Chicago, they're very well educated. They've been educated how to defy ICE, how to hide from ICE. They call it know your rights. I call it how to escape from ICE. There you go. So organizing and community defense is where our strength lies as abolitionist organizers. This is what we're good at, and this is what this moment calls for. And it is also, as Angela Davis said, it is only defensive resistance, and we also have to be about the work of building. So we'll talk more about that too. But I wanted to open it up to my friends on this panel and ask y'all, how might the lessons that we've experienced in the past help us build community in this moment?
That's great. I'm like, is this thing going? There we go. Excuse me. You know, I was thinking about...
And Mary, can you say your name?
Oh, hello, friends. I'm Mary Hooks.
Mary.
I use she and her pronouns. I live in Atlanta. I bring greetings from the Movement for Black Lives. I bring greetings from comrades in Atlanta, folks who are struggling around Cop City, folks who are looking at RICO charges, folks who are building people's assemblies, folks who are making a way out of no way. And from my political home, always, Southerners on new ground. But to this question, when I read it, the first thing I thought about was maroonage, and that practice of stealing away and creating what some folk would talk about as like hush harbors, a way to steal away with one another and to tend to one another. And I think that coming into organizing in my early days of organizing, my God, I'm that person now. But in the earlier days, I think that was essential to how I understood this work to even be able to work, was that we had to be able to find ways to harbor one another. And I think about it, and maroonage is, comes from, enslaved African people who would oftentimes, engage in armed struggle sometimes, but find a way to leave the change of their oppressors and then make their way up into the mountains, create community and create safety in order to provide protection for one another and to be able to preserve that which is sacred amongst our people. And I would say in the tradition that I come up inside of Southerners on New Ground, the gaycation, yes, that's what I said, gaycation would be the place in which we would find that, where we would put the call out to queer folks across the South to say, come on y'all, let's go to the campouts. Let's go and sit around the fire. Let's go and cook together and clean together and take care of our babies together. Because part of it was also a praxis in, the world we want to bring about. As, I don't know who said it, but I have the little thing on my refrigerator. It talks about how chores is liberation work. And so it's like, if we can't figure out how we cook and tend to one another on the basic things, how in the world are we to be able to govern ourselves in some of these broader ways in community? And gaycation was one way in order to be able to do that. And I think it was a very practical way that we be in a practice together. And as fun as it sounds, and we had a good time, no doubt. I mean, there's twerking competitions, all the things, right? Because there must be joy in the practice. But I think what it was inviting us to was to say, how do we take this delicious analysis, how do we take our Black feminisms and Black queer feminisms and actually demonstrate that in the most loving and the most fun ways that can allow us to see where we at. Where are we at on our journey toward building the world that we want? And even in this small little petri dish amongst the woods, and so I think about that as so critical. And I know COVID, I think, took a lot from us, and it embedded isolation. But I think at the heart of what we were trying to get after was breaking isolation and choosing one another. And that's the part to me, I think, that is a lesson, that we must continue to choose each other when everything around us is saying, we should retreat, just go do your thing. Like, we must be in the business of choosing one another over and over again, even when it don't feel good.
I want to go with you, Mary, on that gaycation. Yeah, okay. Choosing you, always choosing you. My name is Beth Ritchie, and I'm from the city of Chicago, which is an amazing city, and so is New York, and so is Beyond the Bars. And I just have to say for a minute how healing it is to be in the space of Beyond the Bars. There were a few conferences I missed over time, but the urgency of this conference now is part of what I think is providing safety. And I say that because I think of safety as the people and places who have taught me what I know, who have held me up and made me change my mind and walked me to places I didn't know I needed to go, lessons I learned. My first naming of that was actually in New York, in East Harlem, not too far from here, when I was working with an organization trying to name the tyranny of gender violence, the Violence Intervention Project. It led to work that I did with Insight as a chance to really think about not just gender violence narrowly defined, but how the state is implicated in gender violence and causing it, reinforcing it, and the way that Insight drew me to critical resistance. I want to name critical resistance in this space too. The first time I started hearing about, learning about, and talking about abolition. And then the work that led to Abolition Feminism Now with my comrades, Gina Dent, Angela Davis, and Erica Miners. I think Erica is here somewhere. And I say, and that was a book, but that was really a process of trying to say, how do we bring forward really a Black feminist analysis of abolition into a discussion You know, usually we're talking either about abolition or we're talking about feminism. We're not always talking about both. So the framing of this is important. I'm glad you brought up the kind of work that's happening all around the country. And then lastly, I name now my current work with many of my Chicago comrades who are here with the Prison and Neighborhood Arts Project, where we're in the space where we are able to learn from people who are still inside about what freedom needs to mean and needs to look like. And it reminds me that both in the amazing sort of presence on the stage of the drummers and the both alumni of the fellowships, the sister fellowships, the fellows of the sisters, you know, that whatever that, the crew that was here talking about their Sankofa moment. To me, there's so many people who could be here, who can't be here, but who should be here, talking about what the legacy of organizing for freedom has meant. And we're a beautiful, full space of people, and we are so missing our comrades who can't be here yet because we're not done with our work. And the fact that we're not done with our work means we got to keep doing the work. I mean, it's a hard time. It's, you know, it sort of makes me sick every time I hear one more thing that's happened and I want to sort of go into some shell somewhere, and then I realize I can't do that because we're not free yet. So there's still work to do. And the lessons to me are, we've got to do the work until it's done, under whatever circumstances come before us. Organizations may come and go, but the work has to continue. And in order for the work to continue, we have to have a sharp political analysis that's informed by people who are most impacted. And we have to constantly be listening to the most impacted over and over and over again so that we change our mind, change our direction, do different work, but we always need to be doing something. And the something has to be toward freedom, not just toward safety. And safety is important, but freedom is bigger, and it's more demanding. And I think our work around safety has to I think grow. It has to grow. And one of the ways I want it to grow is that while we're struggling, while we're fighting for freedom, we also have to live our lives. And that means we have to build relationships. Sometimes we have to end relationships. We have to change our minds, like I said. We also have to be accountable. Sometimes we have to move on. You know, we have to sit down, let somebody else have a chance to do their work. And we have to support that work, even if it's work that we didn't think of doing or we didn't know how to support. And we also have to find some joy in that work. We have to have some loving friendships, some comrades who we can always count on. We're going to disagree, but we've got to keep working for freedom. And we've got to keep working for freedom. We've got to keep working for freedom no matter what they throw at us. And that's going to keep us safe.
Catherine. Good evening, everyone. I'm Catherine Franke, and I just want to thank Cheryl and the whole Center for Justice team for including me in this, this community. I've recently left another community not far from here. Not willingly, I was fired by Columbia University for standing up for Palestinian rights. And when I think about the difference between a faculty meeting and being in communion with you all, it's not an easy choice. It's not a hard choice. It's not a hard choice. So I am a historian of race, of democracy, of gender. And one of my books is Repair, Redeeming the Promise of Slavery's Abolition. And in that book, I look at what forms of reparation that were made to formerly enslaved people in the Sea Islands and in Mississippi, actually during the Civil War and in its immediate aftermath. Land was given to formerly enslaved people explicitly as a form of reparation. And the idea was that this land was needed as a recognition of the theft, the murder, the violence of enslavement, but that a people cannot be free, truly free, without resources, without a place, without a home of their own. So the land was given to them. They had earned it. And in fact, one person who was in charge of this described it as a mortgage that was owed to them for all their years of unpaid labor. And then the land was taken away, stolen from them violently. And one of the insights of the book is that there's a difference between being freed and being free. And in the United States, what we have done, maybe by abolishing, at least legally, the institution of slavery and creating the possibility for people to be freed from incarceration, is that we've committed to a notion of freed people, but not free people. And those insights from formerly enslaved people, I think, apply equally today to the carceral system, improving it, creating some conditions where some people are freed, is not the equivalent of freedom. So that's a message I bring to today. And then the second short point I'll offer, or insight, is I kind of came up as an activist and as a lawyer, I'm a lawyer, in the AIDS epidemic, the HIV epidemic. And we learned very quickly the government is not coming to help. Indeed, the government is the enemy in many circumstances. We relied on each other. We took care of each other. We developed brand new ways to think about care, about pain, about death, but committed to life. As a lawyer, we came up with whole new legal ways to think about the needs of people who are HIV positive. We're still doing that. And that's the moment we're in now, too. Right? The systems that we have inherited are so broken, and at best they're committed to a notion of being freed, but not truly free. And Audre Lorde often gives me what I need in moments that are very difficult, and she ends one poem that she wrote close to the end of her life, where she asks, in what ways can my pain be of use? How much of my pain can be of use? And that's the challenge I feel, and I think so many of us do, who are in pain, is how can I see this as an opportunity, and how can it be of use?
Thank you. So I got the sign that we have just 10 minutes left, friends. Is it 5 minutes? Okay. So I'm going to jump us to one last question. What is your assessment of this current moment, and how do we develop effective strategies today? So feel free to take that question or any other parting words for folks.
Well, it's a pretty terrible moment. It won't be the last set of terrible moments. It's certainly not the first set of terrible moments. And we need to hit the reset button, kind of collect ourselves, but not stay only in the process of shock and disappointment or despair. We really have to do things, and we have to remember, again, this is not the first time, it's not the last. We have the power of the people, and we have the moral higher ground to take. We have people inside who need us, not to say it's too much. It's not too much. It's not too much. We can do this. And I think it's almost a kind of accountability to, and maybe this is in part about the pain, but we have to be accountable to people whose suffering has to teach us that there is hope in surviving every day. And our survival is like the first thing we have to do, but then we also have to thrive. We have to grow, we have to build, we have to change, we have to connect with each other, we have to hold each other up, like we always have, but we gotta do it more, and we've gotta do it maybe more intentionally. We gotta say, I'm here to hold you up right now, and I'm gonna need you to hold me up tomorrow or at the next round. But I do worry that if we don't kind of, as I say, hit the reset button and let's go, we will stay like in shock. It should be no surprise to us that Columbia University lost some cash. Every university in this country is going to lose cash, and we're going to have to find out how to do our work anyway. It should be no surprise to us that they're going to come down hard with lies, with misinformation, with violence, and we're going to have to figure out how to respond to that. And so we got to stop being surprised. We got to go. We got to hold each other up. We have power. There are a lot of people who need us to claim the power that we have, not surrender it, especially don't surrender before they come after us. What are we doing with that, right? The capitulation before it even happens. We have to reverse that. We got to turn it around. And I think we can. We've done it before, and we're going to have to keep doing it. So to me, the lesson for the moment is, let's go. Let's go. We can do this. We're right here. Let's go.
Yes. There's a few things. I'm going to try to rattle off this quick list I jotted down. One is to not get weary in well-doing, friends. We are on the right side of history. We are on the right side of this thing. Do not get confused. Something we've been talking about inside InfraBL is around how do we engage dual power. We have to show our people that we can do it better than me. We can do it better than our enemy, and we have to talk with our feet. Even we may not get it right. It's not going to be perfect, but what can we do to meet our people's needs? That can show our people that we can govern ourselves. We don't need them, that we got what we need right here. This is the medicine, right here, right here. I also want to say there is something about the sacred. There is something about the sacredness of this work. There is something holy about it. There is something deeply holy about it. There is something deeply holy. And I think that there is something, and I only can articulate it through a song. It's a song. Thinking about Sankofa when I used to be sanctified, and the mothers of the church would sing this song. And I think we must think about our movements in this way. They cannot be co-opted by the nonprofit industrial complex. We will lose all of this if we have to, in order to consecrate our movement, to consecrate our struggle, to consecrate our freedom. The song goes, consecrate me, Lord, consecrate me, Lord. That means set aside, set it aside. Consecrate me to do thine will, thine will, thine will. Consecrate. Set me aside. Set our freedom aside. Set our liberation aside. No matter the organization, that don't matter. We have to be willing to be consecrated, to see this as sacred work. This is a spiritual work we are into. This is what we are about right now, friends. And we must set our movement and our liberation work aside from what we think it is. It's about the we, always about the we, not about the I. Choosing each other. We gotta make this thing sacred again.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Catherine?
It's very hard to follow that. Thank you. I cannot sing. Thank you, Mary. It's exactly what we needed. You know, we're living in a time where power is amassing in forces that are extremely good at the politics of distraction. They're creating constantly, since we've been sitting here, I'm sure, they've done 5, 10, 15 horrible things. People are dying. And we can't react to each one of them. We can't, and we have to write the plot. They got a story, we have to write our own plot. We have to stay true to our conception of freedom and not be distracted constantly by the evil of the politics of distraction. And it's the fighting of these little wars, of rising to the bait. Sometimes we have to because our people are at stake. People are dying. There's too much on the line. So it's not that we can't sometimes fight power, but we really have to invest and remember to build power and build community together and not let ourselves be distracted by the newest, shiny, horrible thing that they have done, because we have a different vision of the world, and it's not one that's just defeating that, but building something entirely different. And it's also like, in what way can our pain be useful? In what way can our power be useful? What power do you have? Each of us has some power, some more than others. How do you put it to use to build that other world rather than just fighting the one we're in?
Thank you, Catherine. So I will close us out on this theme. We have to keep asking each other, what can we build? I had the great honor of building and leading the Detroit Justice Center for 7 years. And we used an approach that we call defense, offense, and dreaming, because we need all three. And looking back on those 7 years, I am so grateful that even though the pull towards the defensive work was endless, we will always have more on our plate when it comes to the defensive work, defending and protecting our people, than we could ever do. And so it requires enormous discipline to remain focused on what we need to build. And I'm thankful that we did, because while we were getting people out of jails when COVID was raging, while we were keeping people out of jail and prison, helping them hold on to their families, we were also building community land trusts. And 3 community land trusts exist in Detroit now that did not exist 8 years ago. We built 14 worker-owned cooperative businesses, mostly led by Black women, that are showing anti-capitalist ways of serving their communities. We built a Metro Detroit restorative justice network that is training people up in how to resolve conflict differently. And I just think if we had given into that temptation to only focus on defense, we would not have that infrastructure that is taking us forward and putting our community in a better position than it was before. So we have to keep asking ourselves, what do we want for our descendants 50, 100 years from now? Not just what can we get tomorrow. So I would just encourage us to keep dreaming, keep building, keep focusing on this further horizon together. I'm so thankful.
Thank you.
For this conversation. Thank you all. And thank you all for being here to mark 15 years of this incredible space.
Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Keep turning the mics on. Thank you, thank you. So just a note of logistics, please be nice to those who are working, those who are at the tables working for us. Their volunteer services are greatly appreciated, and we hope that you can appreciate that regardless of what is going on with technology and so forth. So we ask that you put on your nicest attitude and your best smiles. So in a quick summary, what I heard was a lot, and the wisdom in that circle told us to first, let's go. Secondly, it told us to consecrate ourselves. That means to set ourselves apart to do this work. Then we heard that we need to fight the right war, not the distractive fights. We need to focus on what's real, and all of that requires an enormous discipline. We have to discipline ourselves in order to do those things. Right now, we're going to bring up the Right to Right healing group. Today, they can give them a round of applause as they come up. Today, we stand together in solidarity with everyone on their journey toward healing and empowerment.
Sound that us. Sankofa reminds us that our history speaks through sound, through laughter, protest, prayer, music. The sound of my people is the faint sound of African drums, steady and ancient, carrying the message of survival across generations.
Call forth the names of those who were lost, forgotten, or erased. Honor those still inside. We speak their names so they are never forgotten. We speak their names so they are Linda Jones. We speak of her life as they are always remembered. The countless achievements of love, life, and honor. The grace in their voice. The sturdy solidity in their touch.
We speak their names when we are hurting or mad at the universe. We speak their names when we are confused or lost in desperate need of affection and love.
I'm kicking down the door of prison stigma. We are human beings prior to the event and after the changes made inside us.
Freedom is not just about release, it's about realization. I knew I was free when I could look at myself in the mirror and feel a sense of peace instead of shame. I no longer sought validation from external sources as I had finally learned to trust and love myself. Freedom came when I realized that I had the power to create a future unbound by the chains of my past. We speak their names so they are never forgotten. Bonnie, the selfless woman who saved me from the hands that hurt me. The woman who has poured her whole heart and soul into protecting the scared little 5-year-old girl who is now a brave, strong woman who has given her strength to survive.
We speak their names so they are never forgotten. We call the names of the mothers who marched, the daughters who dreamed, the sisters who stood afraid but unshaken. We call forth those stolen by change to a system that never saw their worth. We honor the ones still inside, the ones still waiting, still hoping, still refusing to be broken. Darlene, Ashley, Kimberly, Carla, Millie, Brandy, Sarah, Olivia, Dawn, Cahill, and Sydney.
We speak their names so they are never forgotten when we gather to mourn them or when we are searching for the strength to carry on. We speak their names when we are hurting or mad at the universe. We speak their names when we are confused or lost in desperate need of affection and love.
I stand up for the 140 women who we recognize on the wall in our prison, giving us the reminder freedom doesn't come easily.
We speak their names to know that we see them as they see us. Their strength, their pain, their love, and power to persevere through it all. From past to present, they lead us and showed us the way to stand tall. They are our heart, mind, and voice. We are the vessel to make it known. What my ancestors left me was a hunger to thrive, whether in freeze, fight, or flight. With a mind to wonder, a heart to feel, to fight through their struggles, to triumph with victory that was never once won. Their voice speaks through me to show those battles weren't finished, and they gave me the strength to keep going till it was done. What my ancestors left me was a peace they needed to make it reality and keep our minds free. To embrace their struggles with strength, heal the pain, and set them free because we are free.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest.
This Beyond the Bars
2025 is rooted in a deep commitment to community. We are here because our ancestors paved the way, because they fought and sacrificed so that we could stand here together, carrying their stories, their struggles, and also their victories. We reach back to get the wisdom, Sankofa, to bring it forward, so that our work builds the foundation for the future. Sankofa teaches us that liberation is not linear. It spirals, it loops, it calls us back to fetch what we have forgotten, to reclaim, to restore, to remember. The work of freedom is never just about one time, one place, or with one group of people. The struggle for justice is global, reaching across continents, across histories, across generations. What happens in New York echoes across continents, echoes across the world. Say that. The shackles that bind one of us are tied to the systems built centuries ago in places near and far. To understand justice, we must understand our history. To create the future, we must honor the past. Sankofa is a methodology. It is how we heal.
Hold on, Cheryl, hold on, wait a minute. Before you begin, can I lift up a few things?
Go ahead, Yolanda.
I'm calling us to gather tonight. And before you say, here she goes with the blah, 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 let me tell you what this gathering is not. It is not a sermon or a speech or a perfect performance. This is the work of progress. We are in process. This is a gathering, a sacred space like the griots of old, when we sit in community with our full selves, where we reclaim what was stolen, where we tell our stories with power. Can you say gather if you hear me?
Gather. Now that the gatherer has gathered this gathering,
right.
Let's show y'all what we mean when we say Sankofa. This work right here is global. Yahura Sasaj means freedom now.
Yes.
In Swahili. We dedicate this storytelling to all the women, cisgender, transgender, and those who hold fluid identities who are currently incarcerated, from Ghana to New York, from Nairobi to California, from the past to the present.
Yes.
We honor those who came before us, those still in chains, and those yet to be free. Yahura Sasa. Yahura Sasa. Our gift tonight is a moment of reflection and storytelling. Please listen, hear us, honor the courage it takes for us to stand here and break these chains. We are not just telling stories, we are reclaiming our names.
And your name is?
Nana, Abana, Abenakwa, Abin, Queen Mother, ordained by the Ashashi tribe. Sankofa demands we do not move blind forward. We must gather our past. We must hold it up. We must name the pain and the resilience that brought us here. We do this work because justice cannot exist without memory, and this little light of mine is global. Kathy's favorite song. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Go ahead now.
This little light of mine,
yes, Kathy.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Feel free to sing with us as our voices rise together like the rivers flowing through time, carrying the past into the present. Sankofa reminds us our freedom is interconnected. When we sing, we summon those before us. When we write, we become architects of tomorrow. Sankofa is not just remembering, it is a call, folks. Come on, let's show some action.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Yeah.
So when I arrived at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, I was wounded. My spirit carried the weight of shame, the echoes of silence. But then I found my sisters in writing. Yes. I heard their stories and recognized my own reflection. This was Sankofa, the act of looking back to heal, of holding our truth in our hands and saying, I am worthy. The world tells us to forget, to move on, to bury our pain. But Sankofa says, return. Return to the places that hurt so you may gather the lessons. Return to your story so you may tell it on your own terms. 2 lessons I've learned. One, seek out circles where truth is spoken. 2, sometimes when things seem to be falling apart, they may actually be falling into place. Yehuda,
Sasha! We were never meant to be unlearned.
Come on, Pam.
Never meant to be left in the dark. Our ancestors read from the stars when books were forbidden. Craved knowledge into braids, maps into braids. They knew what we know now. Education is the key. The weapon, the way. If we could learn, if they could learn in bondage, we can build in freedom.
That's right.
If they could pass down wisdom in whispers, we must amplify it and shout.
Freedom!
So we walk forward, books in hands, minds unchained, knowing that freedom is not just walking out of a cell, it is walking into knowledge. Yes. It's sitting at the table, writing the laws, teaching the next generation to read the fine print of power.
Come on.
Santoga tells us to know where we come from is to know where we must go. And we are going forward. Unstoppable, undeniable, educated and free. Yahara!
Now, when they chained me up and put me on that bus, I literally saw the past come alive right before my eyes. The chains were on my hand, around my waist, and down to my ankles. Now, did they think that I wouldn't recognize this for what it was? I looked back and I saw my ancestors bound in iron, crossing oceans and crossing lands. And I knew deep down in my spirit that the prison system is just slavery with a new name.
Go ahead.
Tell a story.
But like Harriet Tubman, I vowed, each one, reach one. And we will break these chains all together. Sankofa says we must be the conductors of the new Underground Railroad. And we must build pathways to freedom for those who are still locked away.
That's right.
Yahora!
In this moment, we breathe. Do you mind taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out? Wait a minute, not so hard. One more time, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Take an inhale. Not just air, but power.
That's right.
Not just existence, but resistance. We are here. Not ghosts of a system that tried to erase us. Not whispers of the wind that could have been. We are here. Fresh, Flesh and fire, voices and vision, Black women unshackled and unbound. Standing in the footprints of those who walked before us, leaving our own behind. We are beyond the bars, 15 years strong.
Come on.
Not just today.
Come on now.
Not just in name, but in a movement. Throw open the doors, tear down the walls, let the light in, let our voices rise. No more bondage, no more fear. Only the steady drumbeat of our feet, walking and rooted in the past, be building our future. Riding a freedom that is so real. And I dare anyone up in here to call this a dream.
Come on.
Yes. Say that.
Yahoo! Sasha! Freedom now! Sasha!
The future has taught me that I am worth it. I am worth the difference between being sentenced to get help at a treatment center versus being sent to prison. When we choose to give people like me a real solution and meet our needs, we become more than our addiction.
Right.
Pain kept me stuck, and mainly because no one ever asked about the pain. But after 25 months in that treatment program, I addressed those rooted issues, and I began to heal from the inside out.
Yes.
Sankofa says the future should be made of choices, chances to get well, chances for permanent housing, chances to get an education, and chances to earn a livable wage. And chances for people with addiction to be rehabilitated and not in prison.
Say that.
And not in prison.
That's right.
I'm going to close with something that I say to myself because who knows, maybe somebody in this audience needs to hear it. I don't have to be like other people. I am enough. I am worth it. Sasha, your horror.
Sasha!
And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
That's all right.
A Black woman's homecoming. I came home, but home was nowhere to be found. I reached back to touch the stories of my foremothers, but their wisdom was locked behind doors I could not enter. Their voices echoed in empty rooms labeled for men only.
What about the men?
What about the men? Sankofa says, go back and fetch it. But where do I go when the road back is cracked? When the doors forward are barred? When the hands meant to hold me offer nothing at all? Scratch that, right? They offer nothing at all. They used to offer air, they offer nothing at all. A system built for men cannot hold the weight of a woman's return. They tell us we are small in numbers, that the cages were never meant for us. But here we are, doubling, tripling, our body filling the spaces they swore we would never enter. And still, they do not build for us.
And still,
they do not plan for us.
And still,
they do not see us. And still, they give us one roll of toilet paper.
One lousy roll.
But I see us. I see the grandmothers, the mothers, the daughters, the sisters walking free.
Yes.
And still shackled. Carrying the weight of legacies rewritten by hands that never held us. Sankofa says, reach back and remember. We were not meant to be caged. We were not meant to be forgotten. We were meant to build, to create, to demand, to break open the doors that never had our names carved into them in the first place.
Right.
So the time is now, y'all. No more waiting, no more bleeding, no more breaking, only building, build the homes, build the policies, build the future where we do not have to fight for space.
Right.
Vote.
Yes.
Because if we do not claim the right to our own stories, they will write us out of her story. Not today, not ever, not again. Yehuda.
Sasha.
When we write, we release the pain inside.
When we write, we free ourselves.
When we write, we remove the bars. When we write, we become empowered.
And when we write, we begin to heal.
We should all write so that they can hear the real stories from the real people.
We can reclaim our stories and change the narrative. We are not numbers. We are not statistics. We are Sankofa. We reach back so that we can rise and move forward. Yehuda!
Sasha!
Yehuda!
Sasha!
Yehuda!
Sasha!
Applause. Stand up and let's give them a round of applause.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest.
Cannot rest.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest.
Come on now, come on now.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes.
I said that
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Little light of mine. We who believe in freedom
cannot.
rest until
Oh, come on now. We who believe in cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Y'all better stop talking about my co-workers from the government. Leaving freedom cannot rest until it comes. Yeah. We who believe in freedom. Yes. Come back up here, young ladies. You got to take your bow and then everybody see you. Yes, I'm still the host, co-host. Now then jump back in the other side, you know what I mean? Yes. Yes. Well, the other ones might have had to go. Giving out Kathy's buttons, we got to remember. This was Kathy's favorite part of the show when we got up, okay? Yes. You know, there's a lot of people here tonight, and as we set up those chairs, Dr. Hancock, I know what your name is. There's a lot of people here. We just thank you for coming. You know, I heard somebody say government. Don't shout out government too hard now because there is some working folks in the government, just so you know. Right? Cameron, where I work at, don't tell everybody, but then you know. Right? And so there's some beautiful people here, all from this particular building, from Columbia Law is in the house, a lot of programs are in the house, National Council is in the house. Like, there's a lot of people here. And so we want to make sure that we know that even if you have to go to a government agency, you might find quite a few people who are really doing a good job. And if they're not, just tell somebody that they're not. But the bottom line, that most of us are. And so thank you so much for all of you coming. And we don't want you to leave before you see this next panel, because if you leave, you're gonna miss it. And don't forget, there's something at the end. And those of you who want a new Kathy pen, you won't get it unless you stay here to the end, okay? And then after that, we might do a little shake a leg. But the bottom line is that thank you for taking your time. Thank you for being here for us. And we want to continue on. Come on, Dr. Hancock. Talk fast now, because I'm...
I am the South. So I often wonder, as we bring up our last panel, why did Nana, Queen Mother, ask me to come? And just now, as they spoke, it came to me. So I am not a woman, nor have I been incarcerated. But I do know what chains are. And I think that all of us knows what chains are. But one of the things that I think that she saw in the spirit is that my chains have been broken. And therefore, I am the voice that shouts in your silence. I am the home that was lost in your absence. I am the partner that holds your soul. And I am the strength that will support your power. And I think that each of us who may not have had the journey that these women have had, we should all stand in that place and be that for them. So for that woman in your life that have been in this space, you now have the charge of your job to be that for them. And so I thank you, Queen Mother, for seeing that beyond the spirit, beyond the flesh, and into the Sankofa. You saw me look back. You saw me go back. You saw me retrieve to get those things that were stolen from me and bring back all the goodness in it. And I thank you for that. So at this moment, don't clap too much, I might get emotional. But at this moment, we want to bring up the International Women's Panel. And so as you come up, wherever you are, come on up, yeah, come on up. Let's give them a round of applause as they come up. We want to welcome Ms. Dawn Harrington, who is going to be the moderator for this session. And we also want to just remember the awesome words of Angela Davis. In many ways, she said, you can say that the prison serves as an institution that consolidates the state's inability and refusal to address the most pressing social problems of this era. And those social problems are the problem of human dignity. And so let's turn our ears and our attention to this panel. Thank you.
How's everybody doing today? All right. Across continents, behind prison walls, and in the shadows of empire, women and girls are being incarcerated at alarming rates. This is no accident. It is the direct result of a global system rooted in colonialism, capitalism, and patriarchy. One that thrives on punishment rather than justice, on control rather than care, and on profit rather than people. The United States, the epicenter of mass incarceration, does not only build prisons and bad policies within its own borders, it exports them as best practices and funds and constructs prisons and women's prisons across the global South, while simultaneously withdrawing aid to grassroots organizations that are fighting back and depend on that money for their survival. From Argentina to Australia, to the Bahamas, to Brazil, to Canada, to Cambodia, to Chile, to Colombia, to Dominican Republic, to Ghana, to El Salvador, to Jamaica, to Haiti, to Indonesia, to Ireland, to Kenya, to Malaysia, to Mexico, to New Zealand, to Nigeria, to the Philippines, to Sierra Leone, to South Africa, to Spain, to Tanzania, to Thailand, to Uganda, to the UK, to the United States, and to Zambia. Formerly incarcerated women are coming together and resisting this machinery of oppression. But we are not just resisting, we are building. We are building a movement rooted in international solidarity, in the knowledge that an injury to one is an injury to all. We are lifting each other's voices, creating alternatives to incarceration, and demanding a future where no woman is caged for surviving, for defending herself, for being poor, or for simply existing in a system designed to erase her. This panel is not just a conversation. It is a call to action. As we come together in this space, we recognize that our stories are deeply connected. Our struggles are intertwined. And our fight for justice is stronger when we stand together as one. My name is Dawn Harrington, AKA Mina Araba Inyimpa, that was given to me in the Cape Coast. I am the Special Projects Manager for the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. I am the Executive Director of Free Hearts. And we are members of the International Network of Formerly Incarcerated Women. With that, I want to invite my wonderful co-panelists to all introduce yourself and briefly share your journeys, who you are, where you're from, and about the powerful work that you are moving in leading in this global freedom movement.
Thank you so much. I heard you said you're Araba from Cape Coast. It makes me so proud because Sankofa Araba originates from Ghana, and I'm a proud Ghanaian. My name is Ira Ikua. Ira means lady, and Ikua is a lady born on Wednesday. So I'm happy to be here. I live fully in Ghana. I'm a banker by profession. But in the past 3 years, I've been fully working with women in business. And I lead a company called Tarragon Edge. We are a consortium. And what we do is to support women in business, help them build capacity, help them put their structures in place, and help them seek funding. One of the passions that I have is to ensure that every woman is financially empowered so that we can support our men. I always say that. So basically, I live to ensure that women are financially empowered, they are motivated, they are inspired, they are the best of themselves, and they live their best lives. Thank you.
Greetings all, my name is Teresa Njoroge, coming in coming from Nairobi, Kenya. I bring greetings from our sisters in Nairobi. We run Beyond the Bars, Africa. And you're all welcome. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you to the entire community. We truly appreciate your continued support. I bring greetings from formerly incarcerated and incarcerated women from across the African continent. And I bring a cry from our incarcerated sisters in Goma, in DRC, where they have just burnt alive incarcerated women at Muzenze prison in Goma. These women could not even run for their lives. They were raped, and we're not talking about last year, we're talking about the 27th of January, 2025. So this is very recent, and it's still ongoing. Men were able to run. 4,000 men ran out of their prisons during that jailbreak. But they raped the women, they raped the children who had accompanied the women, and then set the women prison on fire and burnt these women alive in their prison. And I carry with me the cries of our sisters who are incarcerated in Goma, in DRC. Thank you for the work that you're doing here, because we need to keep amplifying the cries of the incarcerated, and not because they are criminals, but because they are poor, because they are vulnerable. I love you've said the fact that the United States of America not only exports the worst policies, but continues to amplify fights in Africa. I mean, when will we ever be free? When will we ever be free on our continent? This is happening because of the rich resources that the Congo has. And so shamelessly coming for these resources, but at the same time, burning alive the very vulnerable that they've put in cages that never even belonged in our system that they exported to us. Thank you. I run an organization called Clean Start Africa, and we work to empower incarcerated women, girls, and children. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very nervous, and Natalie helped me for translation, because I'm very, very, very emotional. So sorry, I go for speaking Portuguese now. And thank you so much, Natalie, for helping me. Eu sou a Caroline Bispo, eu sou do Brasil, sou advogada e mestre em segurança pública.
My name is Caroline Bispo, and I'm an advocate and a lawyer and an advocate.
And from Brazil. O sistema prisional entrou na minha vida pela primeira vez quando eu tinha 10 anos de idade, quando meu primo foi preso.
I started this work when I was 10 years old and my cousin went to prison.
E ele morreu dentro da prisão por tuberculose.
And he died inside the prison.
A segunda vez que eu lidei com o sistema prisional foi em 2014, quando saiu o primeiro dado que o Brasil aumentou 500% em 20 anos de mulheres encarceradas.
The second time I came in contact with the prison system was in 2014, and I learned the fact that the women in prison had risen the percentage 50%? Yes. 50%.
E no estado do Acre, que é a última cidade do país, 100% das mulheres encarceradas eram negras.
And in Acre, 100% of the women in prison were black.
E ninguém no país falava sobre isso. Apesar de ser do Rio de Janeiro, eu fui para o Acre.
And no one was talking about this. And even though I'm from Rio, I went to Acre to look into it.
Para visibilizar a situação das mulheres que lá se encontravam. Não só o aumento, mas como essas mulheres negras estavam sendo majoritariamente encarceradas.
And I went and saw that,
Eu me mudei para o Acre.
I moved to Acre
Para poder falar sobre isso.
so that I could lift this up and look into this, what was happening to these women, and change the system.
O Acre é a última cidade do país, e eu fiquei por 4 anos e reduzimos em 48% o número de mulheres encarceradas.
And I moved to Acre for 4 years, and in that time, the population, and in that 4 years that I was there, the prison population, the women's prison population, diminished 48%.
Agora a Elas Existem, a minha organização está em 6 estados do Brasil.
And my organization, She Exists, is in 4 different states in Brazil.
Para falar principalmente que o Brasil é o país que mais encarcera mulheres e mulheres negras comparado com outros países.
And to lift up the fact that Brazil imprisons more women than many other countries.
E é o país que mais mata mulheres trans e travestis nos últimos 16 anos.
And sadly, the country that has killed more trans women than any country.
E por isso, hoje a gente trabalha com mulheres dentro do sistema prisional, principalmente as mulheres trans e travestis, porque elas existem também.
And that's why we work with all women in prison, and especially trans women, because they exist.
Hi, everybody. Free her. I want to pause for a moment. I want us to really take in what Teresa has shared with us. We need to pause. We need to pause. We need to understand the horrors. And unfortunately, incidents like what was just described to us about the burning of incarcerated women, the rape of incarcerated women, happens everywhere we incarcerate women. So please, as you come into the amazing experience of Beyond the Bars, this is not entertainment. We are entertained by the beauty of the collective, but this is not entertainment. This is a very important vehicle in our movement space that doesn't exist anywhere else. You will hear and learn things that you will not ever hear and learn anywhere else. And we need to pause. I want you to listen and listen big while you are here so that you can comprehend all that you are going to be introduced to. So my name is Andrea James. I'm with the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. We started our work. Virginia Douglas, Justine Moore, Sharon Smith, our beloved matriarch, Grandma Phyllis Hardy, who's now standing next to our beloved Kathy Boudin, and continuing to shine the light to show us the way. And we decided in that prison that we were going to, back in 2010, end the incarceration of women and girls and create what different looks like. So thank you.
Wow, so much power on this stage. So much power. So I'll start back with you, Andrea. Tell us about the International Network of Formerly Incarcerated Women, how it began, and tell us about the work today.
Okay, sure. So I told you a little snippet about, we started our work in the federal women's prison in Danbury, Connecticut. That was in 2010. So our first grappling with understanding this issue from an international, global perspective was one, what Angela has been teaching us about. We must do this work from a global perspective. But when you're in the federal system, you're in prison with sisters from all over the country and all over the world. So you get to see up close and personal what the intentionality of the extension of slavery has perpetrated, not only against us in the United States, but against our people all across the globe. And so that was the first kind of thinking about working together collectively. And then about 3-4 years later, we met a powerful sister, Coletta Youngers. Coletta invited us to travel the world, to go into women's prisons, to talk with women. I'm sorry, not initially. To travel the world and speak to people. But what happened along the way is that as we moved around, we were talking to NGOs. We were talking to other women, yes, love that. But it got to a point where we were like, hold on. We're not coming to another place until you convene our sisters and until you figure out a way to get us into the prisons to speak to our sisters who are still inside. We are not coming thousands of miles to just talk to people who are not sisters who have actually had the experience of incarceration, because we wanted to know from their perspective, not from the NGOs, but from their perspective, what life is like in their country, where they're from, the separation of them from their children, all of the things that all of these sisters have talked about on the stage, the atrocities that they are subjected to on a day-to-day basis, which nobody else is going to tell you, like the sisters are going to let you know. So as time went on, we said, okay, Cheryl, Kathy has been doing this work for a long time internationally. Debbie Kilroy in Australia, Don Harrington, all of us, just all of us. We sat down and we said, look, we're gonna try and figure out how do we create something. We didn't really quite know how to do this internationally. You gotta understand, it's very, very hard to organize internationally because of all the barriers they put up for us. But we said we gotta figure out some way that we can elevate, create a vehicle, a platform to elevate and amplify the voices of our sisters globally. And so now that has turned into, how many countries?
Over 25, across 6 continents.
Across 6 continents. And we held our first international conference in ours, because let me tell you, the sisters over in Australia, Debbie Kilroy, Angela Davis, Cheryl, all of them have been coming together. They've had 10 conferences over 20 years of bringing women together internationally. Shout out to our sisters and Debbie Kilroy over in Australia. Sisters Inside, yes. And so we held another international conference, and it took us 2 years, because when we got the little tiny grant that allowed us to do it, we only got it once, because they took it away as soon as we got, right? COVID hit, and we couldn't come together. We were determined, right, Cheryl, that we were going to come together in person and hold our sisters and begin this process of building. And we couldn't for 2 years, and then we finally were able to, some of us, because even though in Bogota, the president of Bogota, shout out to Claudia, the powerful leader in Bogota, Mujeres Libres, She made it possible for all of us where none of our home countries would allow us into. You got to understand, we can't just get up and go. We got to be allowed in. And no other country would allow us in, and no other, hey, Viv. Hey, Vivian. Oh my goodness. So good to see you. No other country, gonna make me cry. No other country would allow us in collectively, all of us. And still, when we were able for the president and vice president of Bogota to bring us in under the leadership of Claudia Mujeres Libres, still others made decisions. We still had sisters who were denied to get on an airplane. Sisters from Sierra Leone made it, and to just get sisters to a place. Translation is the act of revolution. Let me tell you something. To get sisters to be able to even get on a Zoom to talk, to be able to get on an airplane and come to another country, even after we've accomplished to get visas for them, they still were discriminated against because the airline would not let them get on the airplane. The airline. So that's who we are. We've been doing this work. It's expanded globally. We are staying connected against some very difficult times. Yeah, that's how we got started. Hey, Beth. Hey, man.
Thank you so much. So this next question, I want to just throw in there, actually, the country of Colombia let everybody in except Haiti. They wouldn't let sisters from Haiti in.
Right.
All right, so this question is for Teresa. All right, so you've worked extensively on the realities of gender-based violence and incarceration, and you spoke earlier about, you know, the atrocity that happened in Goma in the Congo. And so what can international solidarity do to prevent and fight back against these atrocities?
Thank you. And I want to comment a little bit on what Andrea has just spoken about, because I tried to come with 2 other formerly incarcerated sisters to this conference, and the United States Embassy in Kenya denied them the visas. This is just to show what a privilege it is when we're able to come together, because there are others who would love to come together and voice their issues and represent others, but they do not have that privilege. And even when you're accorded that visa, it's very expensive. And just thinking about the month, I mean, we're celebrating International Women's Month this month, and the world is congregating here in New York. Again, privilege. CSW is happening this month here in New York, and we're celebrating 30 years of the Beijing platform for action towards the empowerment of women. And so there's so much that happens here that so many people cannot access. So I just want to say that we truly appreciate the work that's going on, given, everything that's happening here. And for the few of us who have that privilege to lean in and join into these conversations, it's a huge privilege. But thank you very much, Andrea, for bringing out that point about how even post-incarceration, they call us the global South, naming and, it's just devastating that even in the development world, we will still be discriminated and given names such as the Global South community. So we from the Global South, when we get these opportunities to join into this conversation, it's such a privilege to voice what's happening. And just to your question around the atrocities, I mean, in these very conversations, they will be talking about the hundreds and hundreds of women who are going through gender-based violence, and, you know, lots of conferences as they have their cupcakes in their, you know, beautiful, well-cushioned meeting spaces, talking about these women. But I truly want to highlight the fact that on the ground, even these women who are congregating to talk about women who are going through gender-based violence, first and foremost, you will not find conversations around incarcerated women or formerly incarcerated women. Those conversations will not be happening at CSW. Those conversations will not be happening throughout the International Women's Month here in New York, at the UN, or in other high-privileged places. So it's only in such spaces that we can talk about our community. And so you find that even amongst women who are going through, whether it's gender-based violence or other atrocities, incarcerated and formerly incarcerated women do not have space in those conversations. Even the corporate world does not want to talk about incarcerated or formerly incarcerated women. So we still have so much mileage to do to have our identity as incarcerated and formerly incarcerated women. Not to talk about the, I mean, if you're not talking about these particular constituents, then what do you make of it when it comes to funding? It's not in that conversation at all. But having said that, I truly want to remember the hundreds and hundreds of my sisters back in Kenya who are going through femicide. I mean, we've got campaigns and rallies that are happening every other day because of the high numbers of women who are being killed. And this is just day to day. We're not even touching on those who are incarcerated and formerly incarcerated. I mean, I'm grateful that some of the Center for Justice community has come to Kenya and seen the kind of stigma that formerly incarcerated women go through. Visas are just one on the end of the luxuries. We're talking about housing. We're talking about just a certificate of good conduct which enables you to get employment. We're talking about they can go back to their communities. I mean, it's so serious. They can go back to their communities because they're seen as a taboo. It's an omen coming out of prison and coming back into your community before these rituals have been done to you so that you don't bring this bad omen back into the community. I mean, it's devastating. It's truly, truly devastating. And I'm so encouraged to hear about the efforts around international conferencing and international conversations, because I know the United States still has, you know, a long way to go still, because they take 10 steps forward and then all of a sudden we're like, my goodness, the greatest democracy in the world, look at what's happening here. But, you know, but having said that, it's, you still have made some milestones ahead. And so it's very important to lend your voice and what you've already accomplished this far that's good, because there is some good. And get together with these sisters and give them agency and give them voice. The last time I said, when Center for Justice came to Kenya, the criminal justice actors and the right holders released women from prison just by seeing them in the country. And they started thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, these women are of worth,
these women deserve a lot more because they're seeing the support that they're getting from the international community. And so I mean, the International Women's theme this year is Accelerate Action. So I'm calling upon each individual in this cathedral today, this beautiful cathedral today. Thank you so much for bringing us here. This beautiful cathedral here. If you're in here, accelerate action and commit to do something. You can talk to Cheryl and her team. Commit to do something because it's going to set free a woman on the African continent or the greater global south somehow, some way. And it might be so little, but it really, really counts. I mean, if you think about those women who've just been burnt and raped alive in Goma, if you just raise your voice, even by retweeting it and letting them be heard, be seen, it's still ongoing up to this minute while we are here. You can do something with the privilege that you have. And it might not look like privilege, but believe you me, one day in prison in Africa is like an entire decade of being in prison in the United States. I assure you, it's really, really difficult. You know, the conditions there, the circumstances that are there, and I'm truly, truly pleading, do something. It might look like it's little, but do something. If we collectively just retweeted or spoke for our sisters who've just been banned, their lives will not just go to waste just like that. They'll know that there are some people who are listening. There are some people who are following. These are not just nobodies. Let's commit to do something.
Yes. Call to action. I told y'all it was a call to action. All right, thank you so much. So we actually just lost a sister in the international network last month, Valerie Summers, a Black trans woman and devoted mother from Cali, Colombia. Her death underscores the pervasive and systemic violence faced by trans people, particularly those of African descent. She was the race and gender coordinator for Afro Resistance. She was a trailblazer in her community. She was on fire. I loved being around her. And her untimely passing highlights the alarming rates of violence against trans women in Colombia and around the world, as well as the systemic inequalities that place trans women in constant risk. May she rest in peace and power. Valerie Summers. So this question is for Carol. What unique challenges do trans women face in prison and upon re-entry in Brazil?
First, I'm more calm now, and I try speaking English. I go try, please. Before I answer, my first time here, this conference 3 years ago, I don't understand nothing English, but I cry all the time because I feel in my house. So thank you so much, because I am in my house here with you, and this conference changed lives, and change here, and change all the world, because this day is amazing day, and I hope one day is the same in Brazil. Please go with Brazil for this year. In Brazil, the first thing is women trans living inside the masculine prison. So it's women, but it's still in men prisons. Have the first problem is if women, why still in prisons for men? Is correct? Okay. So have long problems, but the first problem is these women is women. And the most women's trans incarceration in Brazil is black too. Então, have two problems. Is the problem because people don't see is women, and the problem is because in Brazil, racism is so big because people say, oh, not exist. No have one problem. I need to speak about this because not existing. Então, so have these two problems, two big problems for exist these ladies inside the prison, masculine prisons. My organization, when I start for speaking about black women. But my first moment inside the prison, I see people not speaking about trans women. No one moment. I know have this big problem for race, but see, people don't speak about these women in prison. She don't exist. The number is one little number if compared for men in prison. So people don't speak and no care. Have countries, the same Acre in Amazonia, as little the Peru, for example. The most problem is the drugs. So the most problem is the drugs, and for trans is more problem too, because not have working before the prison, and later the prison is more difficult yet. So it's necessary to speak this lady before this lady go for outside the prison. It's prepare this lady for living your lives, for see this moment for one moment in the prison. And I work so much now for all these business. Look at these ladies for gift their working. So I change the prison Acre because I speak with this business for contract these ladies and change when these ladies have empoderation before outside the street and outside too, and when have possibility they work. So in Brazil now is very important to speak about this lady in men's prison because it's big problem. It's the most problem.
Thank you.
Sorry, my English. I try.
You did a wonderful job.
I try.
Great job. Wonderful job. Thank you.
I try.
All right, so this question is for Dr. G. So as a consultant that seeks to see women financially empowered, are there some initiatives that you can share that can ensure economic empowerment and a successful reintegration from incarceration?
Thank you very much. I think listening to all of us, one of the things I would like to say my country, Ghana, does well, is that once you are incarcerated, there is a system that helps you to learn a vocational skill. So it's like it's in every prison. You get to learn a vocational skill. And let's remember that once you are out of prison, what happens is that it's very difficult to be gainfully employed. So the best thing you can do is to be able to do something. For instance, the earrings I'm wearing, if it's by an incarcerated woman, and I love these earrings, I won't say because you are incarcerated, I won't buy these earrings from you. If I see these beads and it's beautiful and I love it, I will take it. But coming back to your question, as a consultant, I work with everybody, but especially women. And one of the initiatives that we put together, especially because we stand for SDG Goal 5, 8, and 17. 17 is for strategic partnerships. So as much as I don't work directly with the prisons, what we do is to help them to integrate successfully into communities by building their capacity. So there is financial literacy. There is a system where they can get access to funding, because what happens is that once they come out and they can do these lovely stuff, sometimes they don't have capital to start it. But as a community bank consultant, as a Tarragon Edge consultant, what we do is to work together with these women to ensure that They understand financial management. They understand how to keep their books. They understand that the skill they have gained whilst being incarcerated can help them to be financially empowered. And by all these interventions, and also the fact that we have NGOs, we have churches, we have individuals who are very passionate about ensuring that whilst these women are incarcerated, they are learning something. So what we do is to partner these people and ensure that whatever support we can give them, mentorship, helping them to understand that, yes, there is a mental psyche to this, but we take them through so many things to help them to integrate successfully into communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. G. Teach us your way. All right, so this question is for you, Andrea. So a delegation of the International Network of Formerly Incarcerated Women attended AWID, the conference AWID in Bangkok last December. So let us know how it went, and also the significance of the 10-year anniversary of the Bangkok Rules, and how has that framework shaped global advocacy for incarcerated women? I know it's a lot in that question, so however you want to tackle it. And we got to wrap up. So I'm going to give you I got you. Yolanda, listen, you know I got you. Okay, that was a lot, and there might be a lot of people who are, hey, Dara, hey, Johnny Perez, there may be a lot of people in this space who are attending this for the first time or aren't even aware of AWID and international conferences. Teresa has called them out already to remind us that they don't talk about us, and that was exactly our experience in Thailand after flying the god-awful, what? It was such a long flight, which we know, people understand what that is. But to get there and to have to insert ourselves into the conversation and not be made welcome even as we did that. I don't think they will have another one of those conferences without thinking about the issue of incarcerated and formerly incarcerated women and girls, but we had to turn up and turn out and make it clear that there shall be no conference about women, as a conference about women is happening right now in Dubai, without the conversation of incarcerated and formerly incarcerated women and girls. It shall not happen. So that's how that went. We ended up creating our own space and conference with the Women's Justice Institute in Thailand, and shout out to them. So the last question quickly, UN General Assembly 2010, ironically the same year that we were buried in the Danbury Federal Prison for Women talking about these issues, they passed this resolution that the purpose, not that the United States recognizes it, but the purpose is to give guidance to legislators, to policymakers, blah, 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 to prisons about the care of incarcerated women, to also stop the flow, to come up with alternatives to stop the flow of women into prisons. There's people in here that can talk. I don't know shit and I can prove it. But just from what I've learned over the years of trying to navigate that international space, which is very difficult in understanding, but that is the overall. And 10 years later, I think we're going backwards, although we're not going backwards. But policy, the treatment, the understanding is the prison boom. I'll shut up after this. I want you all to know this. We built a prison every 10 days in this country from 1996 to 2008, and we crammed it full of black people. Right now, there is a prison boom happening in the United States where 40 new prisons, this was pre the new administration, 40 new prisons slated with shovel to the ground, including my state of Massachusetts, which we have stopped for 4 years. And 11 of those 40 prisons are for women, including multi-million-dollar hospices to be built on the back end. They won't even give us our sisters. Shout out Michelle West is home, Lazar Daz is home. Shout out to those sisters and all the thousands of sisters for 10 years who fought for their freedom. But we have to understand that they have just, Dr. Beth, help me, rescinded, took back the policy that stopped the using private prisons in this country. So the current administration now has opened the floodgates. And the plans now for the Federal Bureau of Prisons are, Dara, frightening at best. For as long as it lasts, because our intel is telling us that that is going to be dismantled. And the horror of where our brothers and sisters inside are going to be moved into is just outrageous. So we're going backwards. I know we got to wrap, and I apologize, but thank you, Taz, for shutting me up.
Thank you. All right, so I want to just thank everyone for everything that was said here today. On the eve of International Women's Day, in the midst of Women's History Month, we gather with the weight of history on our shoulders and the fire of resistance in our hearts. This year's theme of Beyond the Bars, Sankofa, is a call to reach back and reclaim the wisdom of the past in order to build a liberated future. They may build prisons, but we build movements. They may withdraw aid, but we offer each other solidarity. They may try to divide us, but together we will win. Thank you very much.
You got it? North.
Center for Justice, we got some college degrees going on. Could you please stand on your feet quickly? Stand on your feet. Could you please come forward? Come forward as quickly as you can. Come forward. Those of you who can, come forward, come forward. Come up here, forward, 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 forward. Please, stand, come forward. Everybody in the building, stand, come forward if you can. Please, stand, come forward. All the way forward, all the way forward. Right up here. I get it. All the way forward. Yes. Yes, all the way forward. Come, all the way forward. Just line up right here. Stand, come forward, come forward. We want to do it very quickly, please. Very quickly. People in the middle aisle, move it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Put some music on so they can move quickly. Quickly, 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 quickly. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't push the first person in front of you. You're coming this way. Coming this way. Line up against them. Look that way. Look out. Look out. Look out. Come this way and look out. Come this way and look out. Come this way and look out. Come this if you want to. Come this way and look
You need
out.
to come up on
Get
stage.
on the
You can come
stage.
up
Let's
this way.
go. You can do whatever it is you want to do.
Get a big
But you
pic-
need to come and look out.
You can come up right this way. Come on. You can come up on stage, yeah.
No, I didn't. Come on, come on. People who are coming in now, come on down, come on up, come on up, come on up, come on up. Quickly, 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 quickly. Quickly, quickly, quickly.
Where are the photographers?
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Say hello really quickly to the person next to you. Hello, come on. Come on, quickly, quickly. Quickly. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Squeeze in. So I want you all to look forward. I want you to look forward. You heard a lot of information. You heard a lot about freedom. You heard a lot about incarceration. You heard about women who were being burned inside. I want you to look forward. I want you to look at these empty pews that is in this church, right? I want you to take one moment to realize why you're here. You didn't come to see your friends. You didn't come to hang out, per se. You came because we need to fill these seats with the people who are inside. We need them not to be burnt, not to be hurt, not to be taken advantage of all across the world. I want you to take one moment and envision that they are sitting in these seats. I also want you to say thank you to Cheryl Wilkins and the Center for Justice. Now, when you get ready, yes. We're taking a picture?
He's taking a picture.
Okay, go ahead, might as well. While you're still here, I want you to know that you have to bring your lanyard. Look forward, folks, take the picture. You have to bring your lanyards tomorrow. They want to make sure that you bring them, and that we're gathering tomorrow at the Center for Justice on Amsterdam, 1255 Amsterdam. Bring your little lanyards. Everybody smile, wave. Wave, hold in your stomach. Some of y'all know we're holding our stomachs. Yes, and say thank you to the Center for Justice.
Thank you.
Let's take a moment of silence to bring Kathy and others who left before us, those women who were harmed. Moment of silence. Although we may come together, we have a lot more work to do. We love you. Say that you are committed to the person next to you, and thank you, and enjoy your night. Now, when you're leaving, go directly out. Don't stop. They got some tater chips out there. Go ahead, go. You're the first person to get to tater chips. Go ahead, go. I'd like to say thank you to my co-hosts. Thank you to Dr. Stephen. Yes, yes. Who you are makes a difference. Oh, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you. Lee, what you doing? Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Good picture. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I love that look. Love that look.